So welcome back to a new video. Today, in this video, we were on a server full, and it's usually got a load of hackers on it, but we'll see as far as that went. So we already had a base down at this point, and this is when we had a start. I accidentally recorded this video yet again, so I'm a little bit ill, so sorry if I sound a little bit different. But here we were looking for pipes. To craft more revolvers and maybe a DB to grab a higher tier 2 weapon, as you'll come to see. Yeah. See, I've fixed the quality issue here with OBS and Medal and also DaVinci Resolve. Now, we heard saw shots and we were heading over to this base to see if we could grab this saw, but we were unsuccessful. It was actually the base the saw was in. It was just turns out that they just depoted it and came out with bows. I am awful with the revolver. But yeah, we end up killing his teammate and another kid and deciding to get out because they were not going to come out with that saw. I ended up going back to base to depot loot after farming a few more barrels, which I did not get pipes from, but it's okay. We'll get pipes in the future. Yeah. At a base, I just depoted the loot and decided probably it was best to head out, go to water treatment, with probably some more ammo for the revolver and more meds, obviously. Was heading to the fuse room to look for a blueprint fragment on the side where it spawns, and also some loot, which I think there was leftovers here, yeah, but nothing too good, just a pipe really. Yeah. Fragment and a pump shotgun, which we got, which I was heading straight back with, as that was a first tier 2 weapon acquired and a step closer to the tier 2 workbench. As you can see, I was playing solo, but I had an ally called Roma. He helped me in a lot of PvP situations, as this server was very cheater dominant. But to make this content as best as possible, we decided to remove most of the content when we got killed by cheaters, as it was just too hard to even progress at that point. But I did get overly juiced, as you'll come to see throughout the video, and yeah. Dying to what was the first cheater. He ended up getting banned later in the video. I don't think it's included in the video, but he did end up getting banned. He lived quite close to us, and then we never seen him again after later, and his body was just asleep on his roof, considering he was banned as it was in the chat.
He's dead.
Roma did end up killing him with a shotgun. I got the loot back and decided to deploy it back in the base. Not long before killing, I think it was a P2 kid. I'm not too sure, it might be, yeah, it was, yeah, I can't remember exactly what happened here, but yeah, I decided to build more on the base. As I don't know what happened, this video was actually recorded over a month ago. It was accidentally recorded and I found the content and thought it would be good to post. As you can see here, I needed more bullets because we were going to head out again and try get more loot. We were still looking for that tier 2 weapon to get our hands on, so we could be the top of the server so early on. There was already people more evolved than us, but as you'll come to see, we as soon as we get the tier 2 weapons, we do dominate. Horse and headed straight back to water treatment in search for that tier 2 weapon. Back in the room, the fuse room, we heard some combat going on. Well, I heard some combat and I decided to push that. Roma joined a little bit later, but they were already all dead. Juiced such a low stage in the server, as it was only roughly about half an hour into wipe. They were overly juiced and I was very happy with the loot. We got 12 pipes and a few springs and stuff, so overly joyed with that one. Depot, as I was full inventory with no backpack, so I went to go depot back in base. A repair bench right outside to skin my clothing. Not really that important, but I did. And in the future skin loads of weapons and all sorts. Back to water treatment and search for this tier 2 weapon. And then decided not to go, as I wanted to go near abandoned, and yeah, because we were too dominant over the water treatment and there was not many people coming about. But yeah. Fragment to add to the collection. Hopefully soon we would have enough for the tier 2. Now here you'll see my first extension on the base. Excluding the honeycomb obviously, but yeah, we were going to make this base, and the whole point of the base was to make sure we didn't get raided. Make sure it was like practically like too hard to raid, and we did actually not get raided for the full week of the server. I just only played wipe day. I logged on a few times to see if we got raided, as we were heavily juiced, but well, I was heavily juiced, and we did not get raided the entire wipe. We were still in search for that tier 2 weapon, so we went back to water treatment to try and get that. You could hear some handmade SMGs in the distance, but we weren't going for them. We just wanted some loot out the fuse room, which we did not find yet again, but we did find a kid who was looting up.
Bro, come on, bro. Bro.
The Thompson we were sought after was finally in our hands. We had it, which put us quite on top, and this is the turning point of the video. This is where things started to go our way. Maybe a few deaths along the way, but things were finally turning around as we got our hands on the Thompson we needed.
Aïe.
Got straight in the base and then headed back to loot that other kid that we killed on the way back, as he did look a bit geared. Obviously he was already back there trying to loot, so we put an end to that. Hey, if you're still here and watching, at the time of this editing, we only have 20 subscribers. So if you enjoy content like this and this kind of content, my channel in general, please do subscribe, as we are trying to get bigger and get monetized on YouTube so I can put more content out there for you. So yeah, please hit that subscribe and like button if you enjoy.
Oh mec là, laisse-moi
I didn't
tranquille.
record only on the
J'ai pas
phone
d'armes encore.
this time. I didn't edit on the phone
t'inquiète.
even. I only edited on PC, considering I couldn't get the video on my phone because it was too large. So this is all my first ever editing time on DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, I'm not as good as you can see, but hopefully you still enjoy it. So as you can see, we died to the P2 kid. We get on the roof in search for him, but we did not find him. And then obviously we see another kid in the distance and put an end to him, but he had nothing, so... Time to start the next task, and the next task for us was trying to get our hands on a lower tier 2 weapon that we could just run with on wipe day. So we didn't have to run with the big boy guns and lose them all, as on wipe day it's mostly just grobbing and P2s, but yeah. We could not get the kill on the pump kid here and end up losing all our gear to Giga Chad. So GG's. Base of the Tommy kid we killed, and I decided to go to his base after finding out where he lived to steal his horse. He tries to shoot me with the P2, but obviously he couldn't quite get the kill, so we ended up getting back to base with his horse. Go back to water treatment after hearing P2 shots, so we could try and get it. But unfortunately the P2 kid was already in here, heard me coming and must have snuck round. They're up and maybe go back with the revolver. not to go back and just to upgrade base a little bit, as we did get the Thompson. I didn't know if they had any sulfur or boom or anything, and I didn't want to be the first one raided on the server. Then I found out, as I was going to place outers and go back to water treatment, that my teammate was being door camped, so I tried to assist there. Sorry, the ally. Fortunately die here, and then obviously Roma killed him with the P2, and I did get to place in my outers finally, and retrieving my loot from Roma.
Yeah.
Going back to water treatment to try loot the fuse room, and you'll see for yourself. We're officially now a walking base. We just have to get out of there. Yeah, nothing really much happens here. We just kill a kid trying to build in the area, and then finally I depot my full inv, give Roma my BP fragments so he could then craft his tier 2 and could craft us tier 2 weapons as he was closer than I was. I also give him a SMG body just to, in the future, just so he can craft us Tommies. Roma then decided to learn 500 things, which took up half the screen, as you will see, as this server did have shared BPs. First encounter we had with the new neighbours. All I had with the new neighbours, which yeah, it didn't go directly to plan. Yeah. fend them off, and from that fight I just took my loot bag that I already had, went to go loot the P2 kid that I killed at the start, let Roma have the rest of the loot as he did kill them, so he got most of the loot. But yeah, we did find my pump on the jump up as well as the P2 kit we got, so we were getting juice from that fight anyway. So fair enough to him for clearing up the fight. At this point I wasn't really warmed up, as I didn't actually warm up before hopping on, because wipe was at 9:30 in the morning. It wasn't even 9:30. I think it was 8:30 in the morning. Wipe was on this server. So we did just end up not warming up, getting on. Forgot to put the crosshair on, so my aim wasn't that great. But overall, just going for the loot in general. Please let me know in the comments what I need to improve on to make my videos more watchable and more enjoyable for use. But now we had a P2.
It's 1 HP though. Yeah, I just think there was like multiple groups.
Rocking the Desert Nomad in the forest, because it's more camo really than the other hazmats for the forest. You can use the one with the blunderbuss, the Frontiers hazmat suit, but I do prefer the Desert Nomad in the forest and the desert. My aim was gradually getting better as I was warming up through just playing the game in general. Yep.
If you have if you have a SMG body, I can craft you a Tommy.
Roma was going to craft those Tommies so we could go to water treatment with them and take the blue card room. But I did end up repairing the P2 just in case we needed to run it back. For me, you know, this is my favourite Tommy skin in the game, and Roma also had the same love for the same Tommy skin, so yeah, what a better alliance could you get?
You wanted to go do the blue card and water treatment? Yeah. You like craft a wooden barricade or two for me? Alright. Ooh. Another Tommy. And there's the one blueprint fragment. You have a hollow?
juice we needed to get back in the game and get upgraded and stuff, make sure we don't get raided. But also keep reinforcing the fact that the TC was at the bottom, even though it was on the 3rd floor where our main loot was, as our core. The secret was our core moved to the 3rd floor. I had the blueprint frags I needed to get the tier 2 and craft some things for myself instead of just relying on our ally Roma to do it all, which I'm sure he was quite happy about, as we were at this point I think an hour into wipe and we already had a couple of Tommies and the juice we needed to get on top as a couple of solos. Well, as much as you can really get on a solos, as it's quite hard.
Yeah. Nope, to left.
Or a fair bit of PvP on the way back, which no problem. We had zero issues really on wipe day, considering we had Tommies with hollows and stuff. An hour into wipe. We're indeed walking bases, which, fair enough, I don't mind that. I mean, surely they were pissed, right? But what can you do, eh? If they're laying their life on the ground to give me loot, you know, you gotta appreciate it.
Yeah, this one has a lot of.
Actually had batter base though, because we had a backpack full of loot and also a full inventory on top of that. And no way was I going to kill more kids and loot them. It just wasn't gonna happen. Here we had the tier 2 when we were ready to craft what we needed to get on top of the server. At this point we were one of the most geared teams on the server, and we were until the end of obviously wipe day. I was only playing for like 3 hours total on wipe day, and I didn't play the server again after that, but for 3 hours into wipe we were one of the most, or the most geared team, well not team, but solos on wipe day. And that was all you really need for a good video. Now, soon we will actually have the encounter with the team that is one of the most geared on the server, or is the most geared team on the server, and we do end up stealing their kids, but obviously they know me and already know where I live, as they have already mapped out that they want to raid me, but yeah, they obviously can't because my loot wasn't on the 1st floor. apologise in advance for this building clip of me getting a bit laggy. If you don't enjoy the building part of Rust, or you don't like the fact that the video is laggy at this point, please skip ahead to where it's not. It's only for like 5 minutes, really. Because this was actually the max size a map could actually get, and there was many players. Even typing in the console commands to reduce lag, even with my PC being as good as it actually is, it just obviously it was just a bit laggy. Even for me, this isn't just the recording gameplay. This was actually how I was playing and rocking for a while. But no doubt, it was fine. As you can see, I was still on 120 FPS, going upwards, even with like near max graphic settings. Want to farm here for a few nodes to try and get my hands on a bit of stone, just so I could build a 3rd floor, which I did end up farming a little bit, but obviously cut it out. And I would do a bit of farming for you in the future. See the first run-in with the kids who were actually the most geared in our area or on the server for this time. Unfortunately, with my shots, due to kind of lagging, but also kind of just being shit. But you know, we'll still kill them.
Hey Hank, I know where you live, Hank. I know where you live.
As you can see, I was speaking in game chat, and I did say I don't give a fuck, raid me, as I just don't really care, to be honest. I wasn't going to play after this day anyway, so even though I didn't get raided, I just didn't really care if he killed me or raided me, whatever. I'm not bothered. Was getting overly laggy, and it was just becoming jarring to the point where it was alright to play, but it was getting harder, but just because of the increase in lag. But it still wouldn't stop us getting a lot of loot.
Exactly.
We're going to recycle here, both watching each other's backs while we were recycling, just to get a bit more farm, so we can upgrade the base.
Yeah, nice.
Lag was just kind of unbearable, but it was still kind of playable, so we did stay on. as I didn't really have long left to play anyway, and there was no point getting a different server going or whatnot. As you can tell by their constant cheaters, obviously you don't know much about that, but the server lag was quite bad, and cheating was also terrible. But the moderators clearly don't care, and it wasn't gonna stop me anyway, as I do like getting in all the hard servers and taking all the baddies. So now I would actually farm, as you can see, just so we could get that third floor done. The server lag is actually getting better, which fucking amazing. It's a miracle. But now it's time to do the third floor. I will actually cut out all the organising and stuff, so you won't have to witness the boring taking all the stuff, destroying TC, getting TC on third floor, and moving all the loot to third floor. But yeah, now we were just mapping out and building what was going to be the core. Did know the enemy could offside every single bit of this base upwards, but I knew they weren't going to, because they wouldn't have ever thought that main loot and TC was on third floor, which in all fairness they didn't. So who's laughing now, eh? I'd bore you with the building for too long if you don't enjoy it, but I was just getting ready to get stronger so I wouldn't get raided while I was offline. It was the part when we moved the TC and moved all the loot to the third floor. But I'm not going to bore you with all that for too long. We'll cut this shortly so you won't have to watch the constant moving upstairs and stuff like that. It will end in just a second. Video comes to an end shortly. We will give you guys one last chunk of PvP to watch as we were getting ready to log off at this point, and it was getting laggier and laggier and more unplayable, and more hackers were joining. The server was like 700 pop, and it was just carnage. So I won't bore you too much with the video for longer, but I'll just include some more PvP chunks for you guys to watch. Enjoy. Though I'm heavily juiced at this point and it's hard to fit out all the loot in my base. And yeah. Assisting Roma as he just died to 2 people at water treatment. Unfortunately though, I couldn't finish the second one, and we will run it back again. Unfortunately I did die again, but coming back to get the last little bit of PvP before I logged off. You'll see what happens.
Yep. It's on this body.
Again, as you can hear, they were outside and ready to fight again. Was horrific there, but nonetheless we managed to kill him and then kill another kid that comes by.
Yeah.
We were just racking and racking up more loot to the point where it was getting boring. We were absolutely getting juiced off this shit, and it was just time to call it a day at this point. Which we ended up doing as we got home.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, give it a subscribe so I can grow. Give me some tips in the comments of what to add, what to do to make this content better for you. And I'll see you as soon as we create a new video. Just enjoy. I've got a custom now, and we were racking on more loot, and it was just over. So yeah, if you stay till the end, I hope you enjoyed this video, and obviously I'll be back for more in the future, so stay tuned, subscribe. I am working on an intro at the moment, a bit more better content for you, so thank you for watching. Peace. Love you all.